Hello all. So we have in our previous video, we have already seen the data validation, basic tools of data validation we have already explored. And this video will help you understand custom data validation tools. Like the earlier data validation tools were pretty much predefined and those were readily available in Microsoft Excel. And if you wanted to directly use them with very limited effort, you can use those data validation tools. But here in this particular custom data validation techniques, you'll have to create your own formula. Let's say you have your own specific restrictions which are not predefined in Microsoft Excel so far. So you would like to create your own customized data validation techniques. So for example, if you wanted to take email IDs from your respondents who is filling the data. Now, when they fill the email ID, they might commit mistakes. You wanted to accept only email IDs of one particular domain. Let's say official domain you would like to take from. Maybe gmail.com or maybe different email IDs of Microsoft.com based upon which organization you belong to. If somebody is not entering the email ID in that particular formats, probably it will not accept. So such kind of email ID restrictions can be handled by using customized data validation, for which you need to create your own conditions, your own formula. So these formulas can be actually created by the user, but it doesn't mean you should be expert in writing formulas. You need to create your own formulas. You have lots of AI tools today. Don't worry, just you need to give your requirement to the AI tool like DeepSeek, ChatGPT, or any other tools like Gemini of Google. Just go give your requirement. This is a restriction I would like to put using custom data validation. Can you please generate a formula? It will generate a formula for you. What all you need to do, you ensure the formula is applied in appropriate cells, and the cell that AI generated and the cell in which you are entering these conditions should be matching. As long as this is done, then your data validation works pretty well. So let's start the first thing wherein we are trying to understand the email ID restrictions. Here it's pretty simple. The only important thing you need to remember is the formula here. But now that the formula is already there for the benefit of the users, I've copied the formula right here in front of me. I did not mention equals to. As you know, any formula in Microsoft Excel should start with equals to. Here I've removed equals to just because I wanted the user to see the formula properly. Now, in this particular cell of email restrictions, again, it is one particular cell. You can apply this condition, or you can apply the condition to the entire range of the sheet. Now I have selected one particular cell. I went to data validation. Here in the data validation, instead of any value, I'll just go to custom. The moment you keep custom, it is asking for the formula. So this formula which I wanted is there in my formula section here. So before you open this data validation window, you should ensure that you have your formula copied properly. So before I go there, let me explain you what is this formula all about. In this formula, you see that I have to have email ID which should have their @ symbol. Email ID should be ending with @ and it should have a .com domain and nothing else. If I have to use only .com domain, then these restrictions have to put. If I wanted .in domains, I can put .in. If I wanted to put .uk, I can put .uk. So it's up to us. Now that I wanted to have a .com domain, I have put in .com domain. Now here, whatever the email ID I enter, after @ it should give me a .com domain email IDs only. Now let me select the entire formula. Before I've just gone, I've copied the formula because I have to enter the formula there. So I'll just select the range where I wanted to apply this data validation. I'll just go to custom. In the formula, don't forget to put equals to before you copy your formula, and then paste your formula here, then click on OK. Now the conditions, the formula restrictions have been put in. Now let's say I'll apply a particular email, test email @ symbol is mandatory, @ let's say gmail.in. It's an error. Instead of gmail.com, I have mentioned gmail.in. Let's see what happened. it does not match with the data validation because we only accept .com domains. So now you should create the restriction conditions there. You might have given the information to the user that we only accept .com domains, or we can also put a warning. Customized warning can be created as we have explained it in my previous video. You can also create your own customized information or customized warnings. Here this is a by default warning that is generated by Microsoft Excel. Now I'll just cancel here or retry here. Instead of IN, I'll just put in .com. Now you see it should accept. Now it is accepted ideally. That way you can create the email ID restrictions here. Now every customer, every employee of the organization, or every student of any educational institution do have their own identification numbers. We call it employee ID, we might call it student ID, we might call it any other customer IDs, whatever. So you have a certain format of the IDs which you wanted to create a restriction. Now I wanted a ID to be unique ID to be in the format 1234 hyphen 1234 hyphen and 1234 hyphen. This is a format of the unique identity, 16-digit unique identity settings I would like to create. So anybody not entering 4 digits in between, anybody not entering hyphen in between would not be allowed. That's the condition I have here. So I have created my own formula here. I'll just go, double click, copy the formula as per my requirement, copy. I've just used Control C, copy, go to the settings here in data validation. Instead of any value, go to custom. In the formula, start with equals to and paste your formula here. Then click OK. Now let's see whether it will take any particular number. So 2025 3456 1256 345. The last digit I have not completed 4. I have only mentioned 3. Just enter. Now again there is an error because this is not in the proper format. Now I'll just go to retry and I'll make it 4 digits here. Then enter. Yes, it takes. So the condition is pretty clear. So now whatever the unique identity numbers the users enters, at least the identity numbers would be in a proper formats. Numbers can be of a mistakes, but at least the formatting will not be an error here, right? Similar way, my third option here is restricting blank entries, which means you don't want it any entries to be blank. The cell should not be blank. That's what it does. So this particular cell, whichever I'm selecting, C6 I have selected at the moment. This particular cell I would like to make it non-blank cell, which means user who's filling the data, they should ensure they should fill something here. It should not be blank. Like we use in Google Forms mandatory option, wherein user cannot avoid that particular option. They have to fill some information. Only then they'll be able to move forward and the form will get submitted. Similar way, in this particular Excel cell, I wanted this cell to be a mandatory cell and they will not be able to skip this particular cell. So how do I do that? I'll just go to data validation. I'll select custom. Here in the formula, I'll just take equals to len of cell C6 greater than 0. If I use this particular formula, but we should ensure that this particular option, ignore blank, should not be there. If ignore blank is activated, it will consider that blank is allowed and then this formula won't work. In this particular case here, you ensure that ignore blank is unactivated, unchecked, and then click OK. Now that the cell is here, I'll just go to type something and I'll skip typing anything and enter. What will happen? It should show me a error that it doesn't follow the data validation restrictions. Now if I enter F, it will take. If I enter 0, it will take. If I enter 1, it will take. If I enter some star, it will take. It will take everything, but it will not take being blank. It will show error. So let me put star here at the moment. And the last option, and there are many such customized validation tools, that restrictions that you can put as a user. I have only taken few top important 4 options that here. You can create your own as per the requirement of the users. People should get an idea. This is what I want. This is the restrictions I wanted to keep to my range of the cells in Microsoft Excel, and you can create it. Now the last thing I'm here presenting here is prevent duplicates in the column. In the column, if you are presenting something called a name of the user or email ID of the user or something like a mobile number of the user, and you wanted to have a restriction to the duplication of the mobile numbers or duplication of the email IDs in the entire range, any value should be allowed only once. If anybody enters the same value again, it should show error. In such case, to test this, I would do something. I will select this particular range here from C7 to C12 I have taken. I'll go to data validation. I'll select custom. No, I think I need to copy the formula before that. Otherwise typing the formula will take time. So I'll select the range, data validation, custom, and in the formula start with equals to and paste your formula here. Click OK. Now this entire range will have this condition applied. So go and type in this range any value twice and it will show error. So I would just start with test here. It is only once I have typed, so there is no issue. Now I'll again type test. It will show error. It is not case sensitive. Any case you enter, it will show error. Now instead of test, I would just go and enter test 1. It will take. Now test space 1. It has taken because the text is considered different. Now I mentioned test space 1. Enter now. It will not take. There is an error. So go to the range. Now I'll make it instead of test 1, I'll make it test 2. I'll go bottom here and I'll mention test 2. It will still show error. In this particular range of cells, any duplicate value, it will show you error to the user. That's how the custom validation can be used in creating your own restrictions to the data sets in the database, and you can restrict the users from entering unwanted data in your data sets. That's how it is. Thank you so much.